Giannis recently passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most points in Milwaukee Bucks history. Giannis now reigns supreme at number one. Is he already the best Milwaukee Buck ever? Just won a championship, two-time MVP. Riv, the floor is yours. As somebody who has said Giannis is not an elite offensive player, he's this and he's that.
Wow, setting me up.
I tell you what, I like that. I like that. You call out takes, so bang, right back at you.
You set me up to the Bucks fan free. That's crazy. I like that. No, I think it's too early. I think, what Giannis is doing, he's probably having one of the greatest, if not the greatest, 4 or 5 year peak, like 4 or 5 year stretch of just great runs. He's two-time MVP, DPOY championship, all NBA first teams, all defense, all that good stuff. So he's definitely having one of those great stretches. But you look at what Kareem did, averages of 32 points a game, 35 points a game. Like, looking at his numbers, 15 rebounds, 16 rebounds, 17 rebounds. He won an MVP. He won a championship. He didn't make the playoffs a few times, so that's something to be seen. But I think it's still for somebody to eclipse one, they'll have to do a lot more. And I don't think Giannis has done a lot more. I think for Kareem, what he did coming out of college, being the greatest college player in history, and then going right into the NBA and being that dominant from day one, kind of puts him a little bit ahead of Giannis, who had to learn, who had to grow into becoming that player. So I think for me, I would still have Kareem a little bit over him, but probably in a year or two, when Giannis, gets to the finals this year, possibly wins another MVP, which he'll definitely go over Kareem.
Tell you what, Kareem's accolades in Milwaukee is impressive. You have, in 6 years, 3 MVPs, 2 scoring titles, a Rookie of the Year, first team All-NBA from 71 to 74. In his first year in the league, he was second team All-NBA, 2-time All-Defense first team, 2-time All-Defense second team, 2 finals appearance, 1 in his second year where he won finals MVP and the finals, obviously. And his second year before leaving Milwaukee, he made it to the finals also. He only missed the playoffs one time, and that was his last year in Milwaukee. And that's when he decided that he wanted to request a trade and get out of there, and he spent the rest of his career in LA. But coming into the league and being this dominant off rip is something that you can't ignore. He also did 4 years in college at the University of Southern California, UCLA. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it stands for. I'm not going to lie to you. But I know he went to UCLA.
He was UCLA, brother, man. UCLA.
Correct. What does it stand for?
Central Los Angeles.
Central Los Angeles. Okay, I apologize. But in those 3 years, he's arguably the greatest, if not the greatest, college athlete of all time. For him to translate it immediately into the NBA, and over his 6 years, averaged 30 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, and stock, steals, and blocks. Shout out to Joel Moran. He had about 5 of those in his 6 years at Milwaukee. He was absolutely fantastic. I think that Giannis will easily eclipse him as the greatest Milwaukee Buck, no doubt about it. But I think as of right now, where it stands, I can't put him above him.
I'm surprised that you guys are saying that. I think he's already the best Milwaukee Buck of all time. And if you look at Kareem's stats in Milwaukee, you say, wow, he's definitely better than Giannis. And we're talking about being a better player. Okay, he was a better player in his 6 seasons than Giannis has been in those 9 seasons that he's been in Milwaukee. There's no doubt about it. But when you talk about the story of Giannis, how he's constantly gotten better, what he's already accomplished, this is somebody who was scouted all the way from Greece, who nobody thought would become this good. Milwaukee Bucks fans saw Giannis as a rookie continue to ascend, eventually ascend to an all-star in his 4th season, and then to a superstar in his 5th season. There's something to be said about a fan base watching a player grow into an exceptional player. Kareem was already that off-rip. They watch Giannis grow. It's Giannis, I feel like, is ingrained in that city. The fact that he didn't turn down a max extension. He signed the max and didn't demand a trade to a better situation showcases the loyalty to Milwaukee. And you look at the accolades. Yeah, Kareem is a 3-time MVP in those 6 seasons. But Giannis is already the all-time leader in points, in blocks, in triple-doubles, 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, going to get another one this season. He's already a Finals MVP. He's won a championship, a 50-year drought that Milwaukee had. Kareem in his 6 seasons won 1 championship in Milwaukee. Giannis has won 1 championship as well. And
in 7 or 8 seasons.
You're right.
Took him to 2, though.
But who's to say that Giannis can't win this season. It can very well happen. It can very well happen.
I'm with you there.
He's a 2-time MVP already, Defensive Player of the Year. The award wasn't given at the time Kareem played. Yep. That's why he probably didn't win it. And Giannis, 4-time All-Defensive Team. The only thing Giannis doesn't have over Kareem at this point is just that one more MVP, which, considering how the MVP ladder is shaping out right now, he can very well get it after this season. Because Jokic's team with the Nuggets, they're a lower seed, they might not give it to him. Joel Embiid, they're slipping. The Sixers are slipping in the seedings. The Bucks feel like the team with the best player in Giannis and a record that is respectable enough to give Giannis the award. Because of that, what doesn't Giannis have that Kareem has when it comes to being a Buck? Just being on the Bucks only. I feel like Giannis is already the greatest Milwaukee Buck of all time. And another thing that also helps him is his personality. Every single game, even after he broke Kareem's record, he was still saying dad jokes. He has a book that he brings to every press conference titled Dad Jokes, and he tells a dad joke to the media. The way he's loved, the underdog story he has, and he's built it mostly in Milwaukee. To me, I don't think Kareem ever had that type of personality to where he had that type of relationship with the city. I think Giannis has that, and he has the performance, the accolades, and the statistics to back it up on the court. That's why I think he's already the best Buck ever.
I think.
He means not only that, he means more to Bucks fans than Kareem means, and part of that is time, of course. But another reason is because what Giannis is doing is recent.
And now you're saying that exactly recent. It's a little recency bias in this sense where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar came to the Milwaukee Bucks in their second year as a franchise ever. So this
the NBA also, yeah.
I understand it was just starting out, but I'm saying he was one of the main pieces. You had their inaugural season. The year after that, that's when they got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He built that foundation for the Milwaukee Bucks, and they hadn't reached that same success since he had left, like you mentioned, a 50-year drought where Giannis had ended that drought for them. But he can't be ignored what he did immediately. And I understand what you're saying. He means a lot to the city. I'm sure before Giannis Antetokounmpo came to town, all they ever could preach about was how they had the greatest basketball player of all time on their squad. Not every fan saying that, but Milwaukee fans can say that they feel like that because that's how much Kareem Abdul-Jabbar meant to the city of Milwaukee.
Let me give you an example. And this might be a little bit far-fetched. It might not be a good example, but I think the reasoning here will suffice. Miami Heat.
I was just going to say that. That's
LeBron
crazy.
brought the Heat 2 championships. He was the best player by far, even though Dwayne Wade was still on those teams. I think every Heat fan resonates more with Dwayne Wade and his story more than LeBron and his when he went to Miami.
And here's the answer to that. Dwayne Wade was drafted by the Heat. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks.
But he left.
He started his career with Milwaukee.
Dwayne Wade left the Heat for one season to go to play for his hometown in Chicago, but he left already past his prime. He was a Heat for life. It feels like Giannis is going to be a Buck for life. And you look at these accolades, they're both 6-time All-Stars. Granted, Giannis has 3 more seasons on him.
The question initially was, who's the best Milwaukee? Is he the best Milwaukee Buck right now?
But this is the thing.
Because we all can agree right here at this table. Giannis will be the greatest Milwaukee Buck ever, easily. But if we're talking about right now, in a span of 6 years, he accomplished more than Giannis has in the 9 seasons.
He hasn't.
And he just got started. Well, are we talking about totality or are we talking accolades?
Yeah, these are the accolades right here. In the 6 seasons, Kareem has been with the Bucks. In the 9 seasons, Giannis has been with the Bucks. Okay. They are both 6-time All-Stars. They are both 6-time All-NBA performers. Giannis is going to get his 6th this season for sure.
Okay, yeah,
we know he's going to be that. Kareem was a 3-time MVP. Giannis was a 2-time MVP. Both had a Finals MVP. Right. Kareem, 4-time defensive team. Giannis, 4-time defensive team, going to get his 5th.
Does Giannis have a scoring title?
No.
He does not have a scoring title. He can get it this season,
Kareem
though,
has too. LeBron probably will get it.
So what we're saying is essentially what Kareem did in 6.
What I'm saying is that the only thing Kareem has over Giannis at this point in terms of sheer accolades
is the extra MVP.
It's
also,
and another finals appearance.
You can't forget statistical dominance. I understand Giannis has the totality because he's played more seasons in Milwaukee, but if you're just looking at what Kareem did in his 6 years from 100%. A statistical standpoint, he dominated the league a little bit better than Giannis in his 9 seasons. Even his playoff numbers are better than Giannis's as a Milwaukee Buck. So I think looking at that and also what Kareem did in 6 as opposed to Giannis's 9. Obviously, Giannis has the DPOIs because Kareem.
And it took him a little bit to get going. He was younger.
It took
time,
Giannis.
and I don't hold that
I get what
against
you're
him.
saying though. Like the D Wade LeBron one was a good example because it was a good example because of the idea. D Wade was loved and he got there drafted. They watched him grow. So I understand from the love aspect why Giannis people would consider that him the best Buck. But I think
There's something to be said about remaining loyal to a city.
yeah, I agree.
Kareem didn't do that. Giannis is doing that currently.
Again, but we're talking about
When he
right
had
now.
a big opportunity to leave.
I agree.
Two teams like the Golden State, two teams like the Miami Heat that were one piece away, Giannis decided to stay and say, you know what, Jrue Holiday's enough.
But does that change from who's better as the one, or does that just show who's more loved?
Who's better as a player or who's the best Buck of all time?
Those
Those are, in my opinion, the context of those two questions are very different.
Who's the best Bucks player of all time? That's the question.
Who's the best Buck of all time? Has
Gotta be Kareem.
Giannis passed Kareem as the best Buck of all time? I think he's passed him. He's
Would you-
already the number one leader in points. Right now, Giannis is number 2 in a lot of stats like rebounds.
Already, but 3 years more.
Yeah, but
than
he's
what
already.
Kareem was.
You're right, but 3 years more. But
He was younger.
Didn't,
I agree.
He didn't get the consistent starter minutes until his 3rd, 4th season, and he didn't make that big of impact until his 3rd, 4th season. We look at these past 4 years from Giannis. He has won 2 MVPs. He's been in the
undeniable.
MVP race every single season. You can argue last year he should have finished top 3 in the voting had voter fatigue not been a thing, and the playoff failures that were a stain on his career have not been a thing. What Giannis has done, the story of Giannis, makes him the best Buck of all time. Coming from all these playoff misfortunes that he suffered, to come back down 0-2 against Brooklyn, to come back down 0-2 against Phoenix, and drop 50 points in the finals when your knee is inches away from giving out because he hyperextended and he could have had a serious knee injury. That all matters in the context of this conversation.
In year 2, Kareem won the finals and finals MVP. In year 2.
You're right. You're right.
Year 2 is kind of crazy.
You're right. Year 2. But Kareem, we knew he was that.
Facts.
Kareem was the best college player to ever play.
Lou Alcindor, baby.
Yeah, Lou Alcindor. He was destined to be the greatest.
He was loved in Milwaukee. I do firmly believe that.
know.
There was a shift in when he changed his religion where he felt like very like everyone like I don't want to
He
say
left Milwaukee
it was
because
a lot
he said
going on in his
he
life.
said the Midwest doesn't fit his cultural needs. That's
Makes
exactly
and
what
he
he
wanted
said.
to go back home.
I mean,
Yeah, but no, actually, the Lakers were not his first
I'm
option
saying-
to get
what was
traded.
his first option?
The Knicks were the first option. I forgot the other team, but the Lakers were his 3rd option.
I just watched the documentary, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar one on HBO Go. That's why I'm wondering.
You don't remember his second option?
I don't. I know the first one was the Knicks though.
That's crazy. Imagine y'all would have got
The Knicks were
Kareem.
good in the 70s.
Imagine
you
y'all would
sure?
have got Kareem, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, y'all just be folding, bro.
We could have had Kareem with Walt Frazier.
And y'all won in the 70s too.
They won in 73.
He requested a trade from Milwaukee. Kareem did.
Yeah.
And he said that he privately requested a trade to the New York Knicks, with his second choice being the Washington Bullets. And his
Wow.
3rd, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Damn.
Washington Bullets.
He never spoke negatively of Milwaukee fans, but he said that being in the Midwest did not fit his cultural needs.
Okay.
So that's what he said.
Washington Bullets. Interesting.
Yeah, adjusting to that cold weather is a different type of mentality too.
Wasn't the Washington Bullets in DC?
Yeah, yeah,
Isn't it the same weather as us?
yeah, but not Milwaukee.
That is true. Yeah, it is. It is ice.
No,
up
it's
there.
different. It's different over there.
Giannis over Lou Alcindor. I'm calling him Lou Alcindor so early.
I think Giannis is already the best Buck of all time. He's number 1 in, like I said, points, triple doubles, and blocks. He's going to be number 1 in rebounds and assists
I
eventually.
feel like the media has a lot to play into that too, though.
He's going to finish number 1 in almost every single
he's going
Bucks
to
category.
shatter the Bucks.
And I'm talking about like it's gonna be
Yeah.
in 2 seasons next year, 2 seasons.
See, but that's what I'm saying. If we're all projecting, of course we're all gonna agree that he's gonna.
But
be the
right
best.
now,
you
right now the only thing Kareem has over Giannis is the MVP. That's the only thing he has over him.
and how quickly he was able to accomplish everything.
I understand that, but different parts in their development. You're also talking about Kareem, who came into the league, went to college for 4 years, and came at 22 years old. Giannis came at the league at 19. I feel like the story of his, I think Bucks fans call Giannis the best Buck of all time. Now, I wouldn't be shocked.
Milwaukee won 27 games in their inaugural season. The very next season, they won over 50 with Kareem.
Yeah,
His
Kareem is
impact
a
was
legend.
immediate.
No, I'm saying Kareem is a legend, but
I do get it.
Oh,
though.
listen,
Giannis-
we're talking about the greats. There's no
but if we're
saying
talking,
one's bad.
but this is just
in
the
this
accolades
conversation.
of the
Yeah,
things.
I get it.
There's no accolade Kareem has over Giannis that Giannis isn't going to get or already has. Like it's only the MVP.
Oh yeah, I think in about a year or two, this conversation would be dead anyways. You know, I think Giannis.
This conversation is I'll actually be honest about it. This conversation is another Giannis playoff run away this season from being over
100%.
already.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I could agree
100%.
with
But that's how close it is. It's
Oh,
this close.
100%.
That being said, I have no regret putting him already there.
No, it's not.
I don't. That's fine. That's fine with me.
I don't know. Like, I just look at what Lou Alcindor did in 6 years.
Listen, Kareem's gonna watch this. He's gonna be upset at you, bro.
calling him Lou Alcindor.
It's not his name anymore, bro.
Wasn't that his name in Milwaukee?
It was.
So I'm
but
calling
then he
him
changed
Lou,
it.
Oh, I'm talking about Milwaukee. Lou Alcindor. What he did in 6, it's pretty tough, man. Some legendary stuff of what he did in 6 years,
kidding me?
man. But different era. I feel like media, like I said before, media has a lot to play in it, and like I think different era, different vibe, different energy. So, but for Giannis, him being like that D-Wade, that Steph Curry type for his franchise, it does hold some extreme weight, especially because his story is a lot deeper than both of those guys. So it definitely holds some extreme weight. So I don't think it's a bad take. I think it could go either way. But Giannis will probably shatter it, and like you said, either a playoff run away or next year. It's gonna be over soon. He'll be, once his career is over, he'll be the undisputed Buck, greatest Buck ever.